Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a very special edition of the show. We've got a dynamite guest here today joining us, guitarist extraordinaire from Testament, Mr. Alex Skolnick. Alex, welcome to Sea of Tranquility. How are you today?
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. Okay, how about yourself?
Doing all right. I wish it would cool off a little bit here in New York, but
oh my God, tell me about it.
It's been bad. What are we at? 2 weeks of 90 plus and high humidity. I'm ready for a little bit of a break, I think.
Yeah. At least it's under 100 today. So
yes,
which is relief.
Nice. So again, thanks for coming on the show. We got some fun stuff to talk about here today. So, and a lot of our conversation is going to be centered around this guy right here.
Okay.
And so let's, so at the beginning of this whole COVID-19 thing, myself and I think plenty of other journalists out there were proclaiming that Titans of Creation was the heavy metal release of 2020. How you guys dealing with all the positive praise and press despite not being able to go out on tour and really promote what is one of the strongest releases of not just this year, but of the band's career, in my opinion?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely a mixed blessing. Yeah, we were excited to have it come out. We're looking forward to rotating songs in the set. We had already played one, and we just gotten our feet wet, making the songs part of the set. The response has been amazing, and yeah, so it's it was great, but now we don't have anywhere to put that energy. So it's a little frustrating. So we're hoping we can start up again and, maybe relaunch in some fashion.
Right. Probably 2021 at this point, right?
At the earliest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not this year.
No. Yeah. This year, it's kind of like a lost year at this point, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Since you guys released the Formation of Damnation back in 2008, I mean, Testament has been on some kind of a roll. Arguably the strongest kind of late period album run in the history of thrash, and really only kind of the only other bands that I think come close at this point is Overkill's been on a strong late run, Megadeth, Exodus, Creator, but you guys are just knocking it out of the park. How do you do it? How has Testament been able to kind of go and dip into the fountain of youth and go back to the creative well and just really make some of the strongest music of your career over the last couple of releases?
Well, I think the later period of the band, it was kind of like the best of both worlds. Because we got the first few years of a band can be pretty hectic, and we were sort of rushed into the studio and rushed on tour. And, I think like all of us, we weren't prepared for it. And different bands handle it in different ways. And, sometimes a band like Megadeth, for example, it's the decision-making, it's more concentrated in one person, or, Metallica, it's two people, and it happens different ways. I think that first wave of Testament, although we put out some material that we're all really proud of, I think, we were just sort of unprepared for, just managing our careers. And also with all due respect to the original rhythm section of the band, I think just having this later rhythm section, because the whole time I was away, the band sort of went on this much kind of darker, more underground direction. But the drumming got really good. They had this whole series of drummers: John Tempesta, Dave Lombardo, Gene Hoglan, who came back, and he's here now. And I just remember hearing that, just thinking, if I could play the drums like that, that would be a whole other thing. So then when I got back with the band, even like the first couple years, when it was we were just sort of getting our feet wet again, we went through different drummers. And then we did the Formation with Paul Bostaph. But having Gene Hoglan ever since then, and now Steve DiGiorgio on bass, I just think that's part of it. We've just got this lineup of just top people, and we're hungry. I think the band has sort of maybe for reasons that are the band's band takes responsibility for it. It was never at the top of the hierarchy. The band never got platinum records, never got Grammy nominations or anything like that. And it's fine. It's not that there's resentment or anything. Again, you can look back and we understand why that is, but at the same time, there's a hunger and a sense that, okay, well, the band never really got to prove itself. So even though, we may not be at the top of that hierarchy, it might not, which that doesn't even really exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
And you can't plan around that. Just as far as just something proved musically, the band has that. So I think that all of that has helped.
And you got to think too, I mean, you guys, the current lineup hasn't been together for too long. And this is basically like one of the biggest super groups of metal right now. I mean, look at the pedigree of all of you. So that's got to feel really good. I mean, this is probably the best lineup of Testament ever. Yeah,
for sure. But also, I think, I don't know, your perspective of time changes. This lineup's been together since 2012. That's when Steve came in on bass right before our Australian tour. And
8 years flies by, though, right? Especially nowadays.
Yeah, 8 years is a year longer than the whole original lineup of the band. That was around 7 years from the time I joined, from the time we did the last record, and moved on. So it's been So now the band has some time behind it.
That's cool that you're still hungry. I mean, that's great. But I think you all have the confidence in each other, and the creativity that's coming through in the music is, it's pretty mind blowing what you guys have been doing album after album here like this. So it's good stuff.
I think everybody was, just grateful that we could give it another shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And also just, we've been on tour with some great bands. There's bands that we toured with back in the old days. We've played with most of them, like Anthrax and Slayer. But also, right when we came back, we toured with some of the giants, like Judas Priest and Heaven and Hell and Motorhead. And some of the bands that were a generation or two after, like Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage, and now there's this whole festival circuit in Europe that wasn't as strong back when the band had its first time around. There were occasional festivals, but it wasn't like
now.
It was like now, where there was now it's like an annual event, and it's almost like a World Cup. Like each country is trying to outdo the others. It's like a wonderful competition, and folks go from country to country, and I don't know why that hasn't happened here. I think it's probably regulations. You do have some events that are starting to resemble the festivals there, but it's still not quite.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, that's the thing you hear from a lot of fans. It's like, why are there no festivals here like there are over in Europe every summer? I mean, there's festivals happening all the time, and here it's just like slim pickings. But
people are fans from here when they make their occasional pilgrimage over there just to see what it's all about. They're in shock.
Oh yeah. Totally different scene.
And it's very common to have this big mix of bands.
Yeah.
We did a show last year. Yeah, we're on one stage with all the heavy bands, but then there's like more of a prog stage, and Dream Theater's playing. And then they got done, and Petrucci and I met up and went over to Def Leppard's area and hung with them and watch from the side, listen to the show on Phil's headphones.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you get to have experiences like that. It's a whole other thing. And there's plenty of people that, you'll look at the Def Leppard crowd and you'll see Testament shirts there because they were watching us earlier. And here everything is so categorized. And so, I don't know. Yeah, they really try to divide things up, and it's not healthy.
Well, because I think over in Europe, it's like you're a heavy music fan, and that means that you can go to a festival and you can enjoy Testament, Mayhem, Deep Purple, Wasp, Def Leppard, Kiss. It's all the same umbrella. Whereas here, you got folks that are, I'm just a black metal fan. I'm just a thrash fan.
Yeah.
I only like the classic bands. That's the way it is here. I mean, good, bad, or ugly. I mean, it's reality, right? Yeah. So getting back to the new album here. So you and Eric have just created like a just literal feast of riffarama on this album. So you got, I was listening to this again yesterday. I've been listening to this for months. Children of the Next Level, Dream Deceiver, which is so catchy, so heavy. Night of the Witch, City of Angels, World War III, Ishtar's Gate. I mean, there's so much good material. And some of the best that you guys have kind of cranked out in the years. So can you talk a little about how the album originally took shape, and did these songs originate on the road at all? Is this stuff that you worked on in the studio? Did everybody come with ideas? How did this kind of album come to fruition?
Yeah, most of it was created during periods off of the road. The concerts take so much energy. I don't know if that's being older or just that we're playing longer. We do the concert. We always have enough energy for the concert, but it doesn't leave. Like, it takes a certain creative energy to come up with music, and also you kind of need to be clear-headed, because when you're performing every night, the music you're performing clouds your head. Maybe some bands could do it. We've never been able to do it. So the periods that we were off the road, I tend to do I do demos at home anytime I have an idea. I have my own system, and I compile ideas I like, I develop them, I try to make them into sort of workable demos. So instead of having to explain the drum part detail by detail, I work with a software program, and I play bass. I tell the guys, here, if you like it, great. It's a guide. It's a guide. You don't have to play like the way I'm doing it on the demo. And so that's kind of how it works. Eric has his own system. He comes up with stuff, and I think on this record, we got together. We were able to meet a little more. I flew to the West Coast, and we were just able to jam together on the ideas and help shape them. And I would just make suggestions, even on a song that it's all Eric's parts. I would suggest, okay, well, I really like this part. Why don't you do more of this part? You should be featuring this. It's a tiny little part. That's like the best. That should be like the whole song. And then, so he'll make some suggestions to my songs as well. Eric has the final say because he started the band. And, he's kind of the guy with the last say. But he actually liked 2 full songs that I wrote for this record, and they weren't that different from the demos. We changed a couple arrangement things around, but that was it.
So it's still pretty collaborative then, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, very much. And then he jams, so he meets with Gene and jams on stuff, and that helps shape the material as well. And between his meeting with Gene and then my meeting with Eric and then all of us meeting in the studio, it all comes together.
Cool. Chuck sounds great on the album too. So
he takes great care of himself. And
how's he doing? Because I know he had he's going good. Yeah,
he's good now. Yeah, he yeah, he's learned how to take care of his voice. Like, he really knows his voice well, and he knows. Yeah, he's just he knows how to train. Whether it's running or workouts or just preparing his voice when he needs to go in the studio, so he's never kind of caught off guard, and it just sounds stronger than ever.
Well, that's important, I guess. Singing the type of material that you guys do, and I'm assuming he's okay now, recovering from his illness earlier this year. He has
a C19. It was unfortunate, but he's much better.
Good.
A whole bunch of people from our tour got it. I was very lucky to not catch it. Couple of the guys in Death Angel got it really bad.
Yep.
So thankfully they're better, but as we keep saying, it's no joke.
It's not at all. It's not at all, despite what some people seem to think. Yeah.
People do. Yeah, it's amazing. Some people are treating it that way. And, we're seeing people who treat it that way die.
Yep.
Yeah. So
serious stuff, people. Serious stuff.
What are you guys doing? You don't need to do this.
Oh boy. So let's switch gears a little bit. So I was recently conversing with Leo from Moon June and seeing some posts of his. So you've got there's this upcoming webcast that Moon June Records is going to be doing in Brooklyn, New York on August 15th. So that's featuring you and Tim Motzer, Percy Jones from Brand X, and Kenny Grahowski. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's pretty exciting. So that's a little bit different than the Testament stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been very excited about that. And I've played with Kenny before. I haven't played with Percy. I've met Percy. I supported Brand X with another project, Jane Getter's Premonition. And Kenny's played with me in a couple different projects of my own. I have a whole world outside of Testament, and some people continue to be surprised at that. I guess it's unusual, and there's also people who know me outside of Testament that don't know anything about Testament, and they're surprised.
It's like, oh, he's a metal guy too. It's like, I thought he just played. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I have a whole full-time career doing different types of instrumental music. In this case, this is going to be really electric improvised music, and they're all like monster players, and I'm excited. And Kenny is now the drummer for Brand X, and Percy. So him and Percy, that's like half of Brand X, which is very thrilling. And I have my Brand X albums from long ago, and
they're awesome, aren't they?
They're really awesome. Yeah, I have the ones with Phil Collins on them before he was known as a pop singer.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous drummer.
Yeah, absolutely. So this event's going to be streaming on Facebook or on YouTube or both? I
think so. I think it's streaming on all platforms.
Okay.
I'm not sure. There's some posts out about it. Moon June Records has posts out. I'll be sharing posts about it. But we're all excited. We're all excited to do sort of a gig.
Yeah.
So
what's it going to be?
Audience.
Is it going to be like improvs, original music, old classic, fusion classics, or a mix of all the above?
Totally improv.
Wow.
And these are all really creative players.
So in true Moon June fashion then, right? Because that's what you come to expect from artists on that label. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So anything new on the horizon for Alex Skolnick Trio or Metal Allegiance, which are two other of the many projects you've been working on?
Yeah. Alex Skolnick Trio. Well, we recorded a few songs just to do with guests, and that was kind of a plan that we had. Different types of songs, much more of a blues direction. We're kind of figuring out what to do with those songs now that it's so difficult to work with other musicians. But we have at least a couple songs, so we'll probably release them as singles. They just need to be mixed. And then, I think we'll probably wait till next year to look at another full-length record. So the response to Conundrum was great. That's one of my favorite records that I've done. And then, Metal Allegiance is basically on hold until we can perform again. I mean, we were scheduled to do the annual Anaheim show at the House of Blues, which we've done the last several years, and it's become a big event. But that's off because of the pandemic, and and it's just, at this point, it doesn't make sense to go in the studio again when you can't tour. So it exists, but it's it's in space, I guess you could say.
Like so many things right now.
Yes.
I do want to say so many people still talk about all the great kind of jazz covers of metal classics that your trio has done over the years. People just love that stuff that's gone over so well.
Thanks. I'm so glad people like that. It was
well, it's fun, you know.
It was a kind of a bold thing to do at the time, yet it felt very organic.
Yep, exactly. People like fun.
We still do some of those songs, even though most of the last couple records have been almost all original. But we still throw those songs in.
So we've talked about a lot of different projects in a lot of different genres. So for Alex Skolnick, what's your favorite and most rewarding type of music to play and record? What really kind of does it for you? Now that you do all of this stuff, like what's at your core, what do you really enjoy doing the most?
I think I enjoy improvising the most. It's not that I don't enjoy the other stuff, but I've said this before. Sometimes it makes headlines, but I can see being an improviser, for the rest of my life, and I don't see aging out of it. And I do see aging out of, certain types of like thrash metal performance. I just don't see doing that forever. For now, it's going great. We all feel young. It's kind of a young man's thing. I don't want to be like I don't want to be one of these guys that dies on stage. And I just like, I love the ability to play creatively and create on the spot and play different types of instruments. Switch to an acoustic, switch to a semi-hollow body, switch to a full hollow body. I love effects pedals. Maybe experiment with different types of quirky boutique pedals and explore those sounds. These are just things you don't do in a set show of like any kind of rock, whether it's metal or anything else. So I really like doing that, and I think if I have to pick one thing. On the other hand, I love that I have this outlet to play loud screaming guitar at like ear-shattering decibel levels too.
So you kind of led me into, the final part of the discussion here, because obviously we're going to get a lot of guitar fans watching this. So it's gear talk time. So awesome. Any new guitar amp effect pickups of late? You just talked about, the boutique effects boxes, and there's so many of them. I mean, you get every day you can see new ones out that are being offered. So what's some of your gear of choice these days? What do you got? All these wonderful guitars behind you. What are some of those new effects boxes you've been playing, new amps, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, so much stuff.
Very good. That's the best answer.
Well, I just got I got this thing called the Zoom G11, which is a large digital effects floor unit, self-contained. So it has amp sounds in it. And it's really next level. I'm generally more of a analog classic pedal person. And I usually don't use these digital multi-effects pedals, but this one is just really next level. So I did a promotion for it along with Kiko Guerrero and some others. And let's see, I got this great splash reverb pedal sent to me by a Greek company called Crazy Tube Circuits. I know there's like a few of these really cool companies in Greece. Jam Pedals is another one. I've been using their stuff. And being home, I've really gotten to learn my Kemper. And I've been using a Kemper the last few years with Testament. We're all using them, and they're very convenient for touring. But we pretty much have just a few sounds with Testament. And being at home and having a Kemper here with me, I've really been able to dive in and explore that thing. And I cannot believe all the sounds. So if a project comes up, so, you know, I've done a bunch of these quarantine videos, as they're called. And I've even done songs by Queen and Rush. So, you know, if I get a message from Charlie Benante that, you know, I need to learn Red Barchetta, I know I have the gear to do it and explore this. So doing those projects, you know, has really helped me explore that stuff. And for amps, I like, at least for my instrumental stuff, I love like old Fender amps, and I have 3 now. And I just got a Fender 1960. I haven't even this is so new. I haven't even done a post about this, or I'm going to share about it. You know, it's probably news, but it's a Fender 1960 Super brown face.
Wow.
And it was formerly owned by Walter Beck, and it still has his cigarette markings and his studio tape. Yeah, that's a
vintage.
good find.
That's vintage right there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So I'm excited to put that in. Yeah. Oh my God, it sounds huge. Yeah.
Loving that Lifeson double neck behind you on the wall. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That's a real one. I mean, I think it was built in the late 90s or early O's, but it's the custom shop, so it's certified, hand built, and authentic.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of jazz guitars behind you, which is kind of cool. I see.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. One of there's a Godin semi-hollow body. There's a I got this one the one next to the double neck I got last year. That's I'd never heard of this model before, but it's a 347, which is in the family of 335s. And I've never had a proper Gibson in the 335 family. And it's almost like this one, these were very special ones. It's almost like this one was meant for me. It's got this extra switch to make the pickups in and out of phase. And oh wow, yeah, it's so well built. It just kind of has magic.
Yeah, it's got to sound beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then there's a Gibson L5 that I've had for a long time. It's from 1976. And I never played it publicly until recently. I did a solo piece that I posted. It's an arrangement of Billie Eilish tune, believe it or not, medley with Pink Floyd. And it got a really nice response.
Cool.
And it just somehow, that guitar just sounded right for it. And I'd also just gotten it fixed by this legendary repairman in New York, Matt Umanoff.
So it's all ready to go now.
It plays better than it did when I bought it in the 90s.
Sometimes these classic guitars need that extra special touch to just make them just pop the way you want them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I try to use them. I don't want to, if they're going to take up space, I need to justify it. So I used on this last on Conundrum. I used the double neck on the title track as a layer. One of these is a gypsy guitar. I got it. It's a French manouche guitar I got in Paris. That's on a couple songs. I think I used like 6 or 7 guitars on that.
Cool. Awesome.
And I have a podcast now, and it's actually, I was shocked. I woke up over the weekend that it entered the top 50 music podcasts.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So, have you had any exciting guests on the on the podcast?
So, a few. I'm only on episode 3, but I spoke to I don't know if you know who Mike Zito is. He's a great blues guitar player, and I guested on his Chuck Berry tribute record, which is actually just re-entered the blues charts. So he's a guest, and there's some others coming up. I'm doing it different. It's not just like a straight interview, and it's like material I've collected over the past year and before the pandemic. But I do a lot of my own music. Kind of gives me a chance to come up with little segments of music that I might not find a home for otherwise. And I really get to put all this gear to use.
That's good. It's good to have that outlet. So how do people find the podcast, Alex?
It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's on Google, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcasts. It's called Moods and Modes.
Moods and Modes. Cool.
With Alex Skolnick. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that sounds good. It sounds like you're just getting started with that, so we'll probably got a lot more good stuff to come.
Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do, right?
For that, you got to keep busy, right? That's what we're all doing here. That's what we're all doing. Well, in closing, I got one quick question for you. Your top 3 guitar influences.
Oh, man, there's so many.
Putting you on the spot there.
I guess I would say Van Halen from the original period of Van Halen. Probably Pat Metheny.
What a great choice. He's amazing.
Yeah. I just such an inspiration as a musician. And gosh, who else? I guess I'll say Jeff Beck, because he's kind of right in the middle. You know, he's
great choice.
There's jazz elements, but there's also blues. I mean, just as far as like an all-around guitarist, and sound-wise, he's just always somebody you can go to.
He can do it all, right? He can do it, and has done it all.
Yeah.
I like your choice of Metheny. I on one of my recent shows, I was talking about we did a show about what one artist or band kind of really helped get you through this whole pandemic thing, from a musical perspective. Everybody listens to music to kind of lift themselves up. I've been listening to Pat Metheny the whole time because I think his music just like kind of makes me feel better about things, right?
Yeah, it really changes your state. There's a lot, and he has so much radically different sounding music.
Oh, big time.
He's so creative. Yeah.
And great bands. I mean, he's got great players with him.
Yeah, just the best.
Yeah. Jeez. Great guy. Well, Alex, thank you so much for joining us here today. This was a lot of fun and a lot of great commentary from you. And so everybody, once again, Titans of Creation, the brand new Testament. Check it out if you haven't. Metal album of the year so far still, I think, and we're already going into August. We'll see, right?
Yeah.
And a lot more stuff coming up from Alex in the near future. So make sure you check it out. Also, August 15th, be on the lookout. Either follow Alex on his Facebook page or Moon June Records. Do not miss that August 15th live streaming show, which is all going to be all improvised music. It should be absolutely red hot. I know I'll be checking it out. So
it's coming right up, actually.
Absolutely.
That's not that far away.
No, it's not. It's right around the corner. So, all right. Well, Alex, good talking to you. Good seeing you.
Maybe
we'll hook up in New York one of these days. I'm just outside of the city, so I try to get in when I can. I haven't been in the city the whole time during this COVID-19 nonsense, but
can't say I blame you.
Yeah, I'm staying here in the Hudson Valley for now. It seems a little safer,
Yeah, good good place to be.
For Alex Skolnick, I am Pete Pardo. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. Thanks again, Alex. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Pete.
Everybody.
Glad we can make it happen. All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.